Good morning, everybody. Natalie coming to live, spirit and coffee. Yay! Dun, dun, dun. Got my coffee here. Mmm. Yeah, so lovely. I love coffee. Huh. People, why spirit and coffee? Because I love my coffee. Good morning, Ricky. How are you? Wait, was it your birthday? I just think it was your birthday, maybe not. Hey, good morning, Henry. Okay, so let's get us started. Okay, so just so you guys know, I am gonna start getting on. Good morning, Ryan. Super early. Yay! Why? Because Natalie's back to the grind. Um, back to the American dream of 9 to 5. Okay, so we got to do what we got to do for life. But I have devoured, as you guys know, devoured my life, put it back together. I had this really long span of time where it almost looked like I was doing nothing. I think people were like, "Well, how did she do that?" And the reality is that it's in the prayer that supports us to manifest the things that we most desire. And what do I mean by in the prayer? Well, words create and frequency and vibration, and we know that. So it's how we pray and what we say that really supports us into manifesting or developing or seeing the things that we want to see in our life. How does this happen? So I can tell you that my life has gone through these like whirlwinds, right, of craziness where I have moved, I don't know how many times in the last couple of years. It's almost ridiculous the amount of times I've moved, but it almost feels like I didn't move, if that makes sense. And the reason why, okay, good morning, Kimmy. It doesn't feel like this. I like that. It's funny, Kimmy. Hell. Yeah, sometimes we feel like we're living the pits of hell. And it's okay because we come out of the fire if we're strong, right? And we rise as the phoenix. Okay, so I've devoured my life. I've moved, but and I was telling my niece about this, right? Good morning, Doreen. I said, you know what? Let's be real. Let's just be real. Home is where the heart is. And what does that mean? That means that no matter where we're living, what space we're in, no matter what we're occupying, we can always create a space that feels energetically correct for us. What do I mean by that? I mean a space that is going to allow us to synergize the energy that we need to synergize. Okay. So for me, even though I moved around so much, I always made sure that my space would serve my higher frequency and vibration. They call it feng shui. Some people call it feng shui. And I'm very good at, I don't know all of that. Like, I've never read books on feng shui or, oh, your room should be this way, that way. What I do is I create a space that I want to, that I don't want to leave, pretty much. So I always tell people that it's like, my girl is coming. I just shared. Oh, good. Great, Kimmy. Thank you. Um, and good morning to those on Podbean as well. Again, if you want to follow me on Facebook Live, you're more than welcome. So it's really nice to synergize a space that actually can help you. Okay. Oh, you're in the Philippines. Hey, Filipinos. How are you, my lovely Filipinos? Hi, Kelly. Okay, so how do we create our space? This is critical to set you up to win. So my life is changing drastically, you guys. I'm going to start coming on super early in the morning in the Philippines. It's probably nighttime, I'm assuming. And around the world, obviously, time zones are different. So, yes, you are live, Will. So, here's the deal. As we move through our life and as things start to change and we start to synergize our space, really what we're doing is setting ourselves up to win. Now, I'm going to be doing a workshop in at the end of the month, and it's called Spiritual Currency. Okay. Spiritual currency is what? Spiritual currency is how we spend our time. What do we focus on? And I've been doing a lot of memes on time purposefully. Why? Because Really, if we set ourselves up to win, right, we can do so much in a small amount of time. I get more done in a couple of hours than sometimes it takes people to do in a whole day, right? But why? It's not because I have some magical potion or because I have people doing things for me. I wish I had maids to do everything for me. Good morning, Rick. But I learned to fit everything in, okay? And it's because I understand certain things. Time efficiency. Now, The Pursuit of Happiness is a really good movie to watch. And you guys know I like to talk about movies, and movies come to my head on certain things. In The Pursuit of Happiness, he went into a firm, a financial firm, right? And he wanted to become a financial analyst, right? Or he wanted to, and it was a financial analyst, managing stock portfolios or whatever it was, right? In The Pursuit of Happiness. So he went into the job and he realized that people would spend time doing meaningless things, okay? And they did this because why? Because they're like, I have time. So they were kind of lollygagging. For him, this was life or death. Okay. Have a wonderful week as well, Rick. And so what did he do? Okay. He looked and he said, how can I manage my time and be more time efficient? And he said, okay, I know that it takes this much time and people take this many breaks and this, I'm not going to do that, right? Okay, this is not. So, how do we maximize our time in our space? I am going to tell you the good news, okay? And I think that some of my people are on here that have been following me forever. The good news is that I have aligned my life a little bit closer to my entire birthright or to what my birthright is. Now, everybody knows nutrition, health, is super critical for me and fitness. Okay. And the reason why is because I nearly died from no iron. Like literally, I had to get a 5 hour iron infusion, which, if you understand what that means, 5 hours getting iron pumped in me. So that tells you how much iron I did not have in my blood. So I was near death. Okay. Now I laugh, but don't laugh. But the reality is that I had to recognize that health was critical, and I had to take that on for myself, and so I did. And so for me, I'm constantly taking and maintaining my health because I have to give back to humanity. And as you know, Spirit and Coffee is how I give back. This is the way that I give to the world. This is me manifesting my divine birthright from within. This is me saying, stepping into my authentic truth, okay, and giving back. And so to continue to do that, I have to take care of myself. So the big news is I'm going back to a job, yes, which is beautiful. Good morning, Adan, and I'm so blessed that I get to, right? That I'm young enough to have all the energy to do this. Now, what will I be doing? Dun dun dun, drum roll. I am going to be working at Wellbridge, which is sports and wellness. Yay, I'm excited. Why? Sports and wellness is a gym, but more than a gym, it's a lifestyle. It's a place where we teach people how to be healthy. And I'm super excited to start there because I want to understand the fitness industry and the fitness world a lot better. Good morning, Victoria. And so I'm going to be learning from the trainers. I'm going to be learning from the people that are nutritionists. I'm going to have access to a gym that has some amazing equipment. Peloton, by the way, for those of you. So I don't have to buy a Peloton. I can just go to the gym and ride one, right? Because Pelotons are expensive. And don't get me wrong, I want a Peloton, but again, I'll get it if I get it. But I will have a Peloton available to me. See, it's a win-win situation. So I'm super excited. So for those of you in Albuquerque who want to come visit me at Sports and Wellness, the one in Del Norte, please do so. I can give you guys a pass and you guys come work out with me. I think it would be awesome to have people come work out with me. It'd be fun, right? I'm not a trainer. I'm doing sales right now, which is fine, because at least I can understand the industry. But that's what I want to do. I want to support people into their health. And I'm super excited about this next journey in my life. So, how does this circle back to what I was talking about before? Okay. And there is a connection to it all, as you know. I bring it back to the bigger meaning. So, baby steps. So, I said to myself, I need to start recreating. Now, part of me loves structure. but part of me doesn't like structure. So give me a task, don't give me the structure, and I will develop the structure and the foundation on which that task can lay on. Okay. So I want you to understand what that means. It's a process, you guys. We set the foundation for our life, we set the foundation for our job. If everything is not, even for our home, if everything is in chaos, guess what? We lose time. And what do I mean by we lose time? The fact is that we can't get as much done in a smaller amount of time in that space because everything's chaotic. We don't know where things are. Now, if we have a system and a process, we're able to do more in a short amount of time. This is critical. This is really critical to understand. So, what did I spend my time doing? Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys this is what I did. Now, this is a practice, and this is how we utilize the great work, the alchemic work. The If you're a spiritual alchemist, you use it all. You learn how to set up the foundations. How does it become practical? How do we? Yes, Doreen, thank you for the congrats. You can come work out with me. Give you a pass and you can come. Um, Critical, right? So how do we develop the time? So let's think about it. Okay, Spirit and Coffee. This is something I'm going to do regardless. Now, will it have a time frame? Yes. Okay. So yesterday, I know that I'm going to be starting a job, right? Which requires that I be there on time. Okay. So the clock time tells me that I need to be there at a specific hour. So I ask myself, how do I set myself up to win? So I say, okay, I will the day before get myself in order, get myself set up. This is a practice. Now, is it easy for everybody? Not necessarily. But as we practice, we become masters at it. And then life becomes easy. And I can tell you, I've been up since 4:30 this morning, and I can tell you that I've gotten more done since 4:30 this morning than a lot of people get done in maybe 2 hours of their time or in the entire day. How? Not because I'm special, not because there's anything great about me. It's just because I understand that there are practices and a process that help me, that support me into getting a little bit closer to my birthright. Now, little baby steps for most. Okay. I started off with baby steps and now I can take on more and more and more and more and more. Once you become practiced in something, master it, then you can add a little bit more on. And before you know it, you have a whole bunch of things that you're doing. And people are like, wow, you get so much done. How do you do this? There are people in this world, I've talked about this before, where you're like, how are they at 500 places at once? They were at this event and that event. How are they doing this, right? You're freaking out. It's a process. I can guarantee you that they are super organized people. They have to be. If they were in disarray and chaos, they wouldn't be able to synergize the momentum. Now, this gives us momentum to actually move forward. So I'm giving you guys practical understanding of how to use the work. So what do? Okay, here's what I do. And you don't have to do it exactly like me, but this is how I support myself into those practices. Okay. So the day before, yesterday, I said, what do I need to do to be successful? Because Spirit and Coffee has to happen. There's no way I'm not going to do Spirit and Coffee. That's just it. Period. End of story. It's happening. Now, how do I fit this into a schedule where I know that I have to go work? Plus, I get to work out. Plus, I get to eat healthy. Okay. So, all of these things at once. Okay. So, I said, look, organize my space. So, the first thing I always do, and I tell people this really works, is to do laundry. So, I said, I'm going to spend Sunday making sure that every bit of my laundry is complete. That is the main goal. Complete that. Second, let me go grocery shopping because I don't eat out. I cook all my food. So I said, okay, so now I know that I got to go to the grocery store. So I built my meal plans. I said, what will I be eating? And I built that out for the week so that when I go to the grocery store, I know what I'm going to get. Okay. So I built out my meal plans, I did my laundry, and I organized my space. Made sure that everything was clean and I knew where everything was. Okay. Now, in organization, the reason why it works and the reason why we become so efficient is because we know where everything is. Everything has a place, everything has a home. And so when I go to grab something, I'm not spending time searching for it. I know where it exists because it has a home, it has a place. So I'm really good at organizing spaces and making processes for people that work. So I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set that up. And I did. Okay. I did my laundry. I went and got my food and I said, okay, now I know that I cook my own food. I know I don't eat out. So I got to set myself up to win. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook. And so I did. I cooked. Okay. I got all my food cooked. Now, because the kitchen's organized, I don't waste time cooking, literally. Okay. And I know how to cook efficiently and yummy because I've been doing it in a practice. It took me a long time to get really fast and good at this, but I've gotten fast at it. Why? Because I practiced over time and now I know how to do this. So I said to myself, okay, my teenager, this is from Doreen, those on Podbean, just so you know, on Facebook Live. Good morning, Tiffany. My teenager and I are having this conversation after preparing for our day ahead of time. He sees me prepared and how organized and how early I get up. He's catching on. So is my niece Doreen, and that's great. Is that we teach the young ones how to organize their time and their space. So for me, I'm like I have spirit and coffee to do, right? Spirit and coffee gets to happen. So I'm like I know that I have to be at work at this time. What time do I need to get up to get everything completed? Now, I probably get up earlier than I probably should, but I always like to give myself time in the morning. My morning rituals are super critical for me to win. I I can't have a great day if I'm not organized in the morning, and I have certain practices I take on. I drink a ton of water before I even drink my coffee, yummy, which I have right here. I'm gonna take a drink of coffee. So good. Right. I drink my water. I take my vitamins. If I need to do Kundalini, which I haven't been doing every day, I'll do my Kundalini breath work. Um, and then I get my meals together and everything. So I'm saying, okay, and then I got to take a shower, and then I got to make my coffee, and then I got to set up the Spirit and Coffee platform, and all these things. So how do I set myself up to win? And so I say, okay, I give myself enough time. I kind of backtrack. Well, it takes me this much time, and I backtrack and I say, okay, cool, here I am. So what have I got done this morning? Okay, you guys, it's 7 o'clock almost, and I've already done this. Got up, cleaned my room, made my bed. You got to make sure you make your bed. I got my food together, made my coffee, took a shower, got ready, and I packed my clothes, my gym clothes, and now I'm doing Spirit and Coffee. Okay. So that is now efficiency, right? Because this is going to be how my life is going to go for right now. Here's the cool part though. I was talking about prayer and I was talking about how we pray. I had a big, huge time out. I had a probably about, I want to say about a year of just being able to do what I want at any time. How did that happen? Good morning, Travis. Where it was like, what do you do? People didn't really get what I did for a living. And the reality is, I didn't do much, but I was still generating and I still was surviving in a very abundant way. How? Okay. Like financially perfect. How? How was I doing this? Right. And the reality is, I learned how to maximize my value in a short amount of time. So I was generating a lot of money in a short amount of time. Now, I did this for a while. And I was like, okay. And it was good because I had a timeout. I would stay home. I would cook all my meals. I didn't have somebody taking care of me. So that's what I want you guys to understand. I was taking care of me. I was taking care of me. I don't have some um, like a husband or right. I have family and loved ones, but I was living in Durango. I was, so the reality is that I was taking care of myself. I had nobody to take care of me. Okay. And I was surviving abundantly. How? I was generating enough income. How? How did this happen? Was it just gifted to me? No, it was in the prayer. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you because the prayer for me wasn't about monetary gain or, living some lavish life, although you can. There's nothing wrong with it. But the reality is that I prayed to God in the correct way. And I believe there is a correct way to call out to the universe. If we do everything in the name of God, okay? If we do things in the name of God. Now, for our divine birthright, then the universe will respond and conspire everything to do for you, right? The universe says yes to anything you ask for. It says yes. Now, how we ask is important because they say be careful what you wish for. Now, sometimes we wish for something and it comes out distorted. And we're like, that's not quite how I was imagining it. And it's like, yeah, but you've got to say it clearly. Now, my prayer was this: God, provide me the resources the time and the space to do your work. Provide me the platform to do your work. Show me how to do your work. Show me how to support. Show me how to magnify the work that exists within me so that I can support others to show them that it exists within them. How do I do this? Show me. And I was given a big time out. I mean, it was huge, you guys. That was huge for me. For me to just live fully and completely in, I wasn't working. I wasn't like going out. Well, how did this happen? It's because it was a timeout. It was an opportunity for me to get clearer about what my birthright was or is. Now it's time for me to go back into the 9 to 5 structure because I like both. I don't mind structure. I don't mind going to work. I'm not afraid to work, and that none of us should be. Here's the deal. And I thought, wow, how is it that I go from one place to the other? And I'm telling you guys from my own perspective because you too have this ability to magnify and to create whatever you want in life, right? I'm always on a new journey. People are like, now, what are you up to now? And I say, okay, how do I create the value? I told you I was going to devour my entire life. Now I'm starting to redevelop, recreate on foundational principles, on principles that are a little closer to my birthright than I was before. In other words, I'm learning to walk my path authentically, completely, wholly, fully. So I devoured the very foundation that I existed on. Then some of it got devoured for me so that God can place me in a place that's going to help me walk my divine birthright. Now, this is where people get scared. I let it go, you guys. I let go. I surrendered. And now I'm recreating my life in a whole new space. But we cannot ascend. We cannot step into our full potential unless we let go of the old stuff. And that's scary because it's comfortable. It was comfortable. I could have stayed there forever where I was. And if I stood there forever, I would have stayed comfortable, but it never would have truly been me. So I let go. Now, here's the deal. I feel sort of like a Buddhist monk, okay? And here's what I mean by that. Hi, I am new. Can I have a reading, please? Thank you. You can message me after this. Okay. So you can tell me what you mean by reading, number one. Those on Podbean, somebody wants to know. Okay. So how do we do this? We devour it and then we recreate it. And now it's recreating a little bit closer to my divine birthright. Being a like a monk, okay? Here's the deal. People are like, I'm a what is it, a master of none, a jack of all trades, master of none. It's not true. You could be a master of a lot of different things. The mastery lies in the practice that we do. That's what happens with mastery. We have to do this over and over and over and over again. It's like the Bruce Lee saying, a man could do a kick, 1,000 kicks in one day, but it's the man who does one kick 1,000 days that has true mastery. Because we can kick in one day, but to do it every single day, to keep going from day to 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 day, and to continue to practice it, that's where mastery lies. Most people give up. They'll do it for a week and then give up. They'll do it for a couple of days and then give up. And then they don't keep doing it. And the mastery lies in the continuance of it, the determination, the fire that we have within us to do it every day. Good morning, Jimmy. Regardless. And not waver in it. Do it no matter what. Now, here's what happens when you're walking your divine birthright. Of course, you're going to have people that don't like it. Of course, you're going to have, but the reality is there's nothing wrong with that. Really, what they're saying is, I want to do the same thing. I want to be able to do, and you can. But competition comes in, jealousy comes in. Why? There's no reason for it. It's not necessary. Why? Because really, what that's telling you, if you feel like that about someone, it means you're not doing what you want to do with your life. So stop caring about what others are doing and do your own shit. And do it every day. Regardless. As long as your intentions are pure and good and your heart is good, there's nothing wrong with it. Just keep doing it. Just keep moving forward. Focus on the intention of what you want to do. If you know your heart is good, if you know that your intention is pure, then continue to do it. That's where mastery lies. That's where our skill comes in, by doing it every day. The monk became the greatest diamond cutter ever, right? I don't know, there's a parable or a saying, and I don't know it 100%, okay? But I'm going to give you the gist of it. Is that this monk went in to be a diamond cutter. He didn't know jack nothing about it. But he practiced, and he practiced, and he practiced. And then he got up and practiced again. And then he got up and practiced again, and he practiced again, and he practiced, and he practiced, and he practiced, and he kept practicing. And that's really all you ever hear me say is practice. That's the one thing I've been saying since I first started these, even before it was Spirit and Coffee, 3 years. I mean, look at my memes, you guys. Okay. I want you guys to go back to my memes. You know how they did the 10-year challenge? I've been saying the same shit for over 10 years. I've been saying it since I was a kid. There's, and it's simple. But if we don't engage in it, if we don't practice it, then what the hell are we doing? You've got to practice. You can't expect success isn't something that just happens. People aren't just successful. They're practicing their skill and their craft daily. They get up earlier than most. They're at the gym before everybody else. They stay later than everybody else. I got up at 4:30 so that I can do this. And I'll continue to do it. And when I was working before, I was getting up at 4:30 to do this every single day. It's a practice. It's not something that happened overnight, right? I just started practicing. And I didn't give a shit. Excuse my language. Good morning, Ruby. I didn't care if people liked it, didn't like it. I just said, you know what? This is here to serve humanity. This is here to serve people. This is here to help people understand that they have the power within them. So I'm going to do it because God's telling me to. And the people that are supposed to get the message will, and the ones that are not supposed to won't. And it doesn't really matter because really I'm just giving back. It's my divine birthright, and I'm stepping into my authentic self. And I'm going to practice. and it's become a practice of mine. Making your bed daily, a practice. Organizing your space, a practice. Making your coffee every day, a practice. Now, there's things that we can't live without. I can tell you that internally, inside of me, Spirit and Coffee, I don't spend time thinking, am I going to do it or not do it? I'm so excited to do it every single day. And I've been excited to do it, and it's been almost 2 years. And I love it. I can't explain the internal passion I have for it. So, whatever it is that you're doing, maybe it's not a podcast for you, maybe it's something different. Whatever that is for you, that internal drive that's going to move you forward no matter what, right? No matter what you're doing, that you step into it and say, yes, this is me. This is what's driving me. And I'm going to do it daily, daily. So when I was looking at what I was going to do for my life, when I said, where am I going to work? What do I want to take on? What is the next step in my life? I said, okay, let me peg my life down to the main things that I do daily. What do I do every single day? Or at least 5 times a week. Okay, because I don't work out every day. And I said, okay, I do Spirit and Coffee, and I do it Monday through Friday. That's Monday through Friday. I take the weekends off. Okay. And every once in a while, I'll do a weekend one if I choose to, but mostly I don't. I just take the weekend off. Okay. So Monday through Friday, Spirit and Coffee. I know that I do that. 2, I know that I cook my own meals and I love to cook healthy food. 3, I love to work out. Okay. 4, I love to read. I love spending time with my family. How can I monetize my life around the 4 basic things that I do in my life? That's the question. And the answer was go work at a gym. And so I said, oh, that makes sense. Absolutely. Now I can understand fitness a little bit deeper. Perhaps I can be a fitness instructor. There's just opportunity. Do I know what I'm doing? No. I mean, I do. I have some wisdom and nutrition and all that kind of stuff a little bit, but I'm not an expert. But can I be like the monk and can I show up every day and can I practice my skill? Yes. Can I admit that I'm not perfect? Yes. Can I go to my higher ups and be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to give it all that I got? And this is when we start to leave it all on the field. I don't know what I'm doing with this new position. I'm going to be honest. I'm going in here. I don't know what I'm up against. I don't know but you know what? I'm going to give it everything I have. And I know that the 4 agreements tells you that always do your best. That's a big one. And we'll get into it when we read, because we'll read tomorrow. But the reality is that we step into it powerfully, right? And we say, you know what? I'm just going to practice. Something's got to give, and you adjust a little bit. And if it doesn't work, then you don't have to go 180 degrees to adjust, right? There's an exercise that we do, right? And it's like when you're lifting, okay, and you're doing arms, and they say just come out a little bit and lift from here. Now you don't have to move your arms so much, you're just moving them a tiny bit, and that's all we have to do. We don't have to adjust our practices so huge that we can't keep up with them. Something tiny. I told you guys years ago, I practice drinking water in the morning. That is a practice. And I said, if you did anything for your health, practice drinking water every single morning, the first thing you do. But then I went and said, well, do Kundalini practice. And I started adding on more stuff and a different process, right? Good morning, Michael. Because I said, what? Breath first and then water. But I started taking on these practices and I fall off practices. I'm human. I'm really an alien, but my mom's here. I'm an alien, huh, Mom? See, even my mom knows I'm an alien. So I'm an alien, partially, but I'm human, right? I'm human. So I fall off my practices too, and we all do. Good morning, those on Podbean who are showing up. I hope you have your coffee with you guys on Podbean. You can't see that I actually have coffee, but it is Spirit and Coffee for a reason. And I actually drink my coffee every day. I do Spirit and Coffee. And I'm taking a drink. And by the way, in my coffee, for those coffee lovers, I put cinnamon and cardamom. That's what I put in my coffee. I don't put creamers or anything. It's a special occasion or a treat, not a cheat, but a treat, right, Doreen? When I put almond milk or anything else in my coffee. Okay, so there you go. But so we step out of practices sometimes, and that's okay. But the reality is, and I'm teaching my niece this, right? I'm teaching a younger generation this. Okay, in the US, and for those of you around the world who are perhaps in other parts of the country, this may not be an issue, but I know it is. I know because in India they're starting to put all the junk processed food in there, like Burger King and McDonald's, and they even have Pizza Huts everywhere, and whatever it is. Um, Anywho, kids, right, will like to go out to eat, or they'll want, and so they eat junk or whatever's there, right? Hot Cheetos, Takis, whatever it is. And my niece, right, is really trying to eat healthy. And I told her it's a practice. It's okay that you fall off sometimes. Don't beat yourself up when you fall off the practices, because then we never go back to them. And don't make practices so big that you can't continue them either. Little tiny adjustments over time. I promise you, time goes by pretty quickly. I started doing, making my bed daily, right? I started to make my bed daily as a practice. I've been doing that for almost 3 years now. When I started, because I wouldn't make it every day, but when I started, I'm like, well, what is this practice going to do for me? And guess what? It changed my life, believe it or not. That tiny little adjustment in my life changed so much in my life. Little tiny baby steps. Practice drinking waters. Water, water, water. Kids are not of my liking, believe it or not. Okay, so you don't want children. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Sooner, but thank you for letting me know. But little adjustments. So I don't care what it is for you. So even at my new job, right, that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say, okay, I have a little sister, but I don't remember her. Oh, you have a little sister and you don't remember her. Okay. Yeah, I have a niece. I have a niece and I teach her, and I'm almost like I feel like I'm her mother at times, but she listens, and I tell her it's a little bit at a time. And it's okay if you fall off. Don't beat yourself up when you fall off your practices. Just say, okay, I'm going to start again. And try to go longer. And every time that you go longer and longer and longer and longer, it becomes ingrained. It's like Spirit and Coffee. It's like secondhand nature for me to do this. When I first started, I got on and then I didn't get on, and then I got on and then I didn't get, and days would go by and I'd be like, okay. And now I've been in the pattern of doing Spirit and Coffee for I don't even know how long. Come hell or high water, I'm on here. Even when I'm in an airport, waiting for my plane on a delay, I still get on Spirit and Coffee. Even when I'm at the balloon fiesta, and I'm not really making sense on my Spirit and Coffee, I still get on here because I have a fun side of me too, right? I'm not all serious all the time. Hi, those on Podbean. We just got an influx of some people. Baby practices. Now, this is important because those tiny little maneuvers and adjustments that we make actually create the biggest impact in our life, right? And it's like the mustard seed, right? You plant the mustard seed. And I like that. The mustard seed is very tiny, but it's a huge plant. So we plant in and we see the tiniest of things. And then we water it every day, and that's the practice, and that's the practice, and that's the practice. And sometimes we let it go dry, give a little sunlight, but then we put water on it, and then boom, before you know it, we have this big thing that has grown. this big, beautiful plant. That's why the mustard seed is the parable that's used, or the what is it called? Not parable. What is it called, Mom? What? She's like, "What are you talking about?" I love it. My mom just like does her thing, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" Okay, let me see. What we have somebody on Podbean saying something. Okay, I understand, but my sister moved to a foreign state many years ago. I doubt I even still be able understand her in an efficient way. Oh, okay, got it. That's okay. Um, that's okay. I'm sure you have other people sooner that you're close to. Sometimes we disconnect from family. It's part of life. It's part of life. As long as we love them in our hearts, right? And pray for them. So again, baby practice, okay? Baby adjustments in your life. That's what I'm going to tell you. And as we devour our life and as I step into this new journey, you guys will start to see the results of that. You're going to see the results. One of the results is, and that I've been trying for a long time, is to get a six pack. I don't know if that it's ever going to happen, you guys. You've got to be at a very low body fat percentage for that to happen. And I just don't know. And it's okay if it doesn't. I'll paint one on. I've seen those people who paint on a six pack. And then I'll be like, here, it's contouring my six pack onto my belly. But my fitness game is going to step up, and it has been. I've actually been hitting the gym pretty hard, and I've been sticking to a very strict meal plan. But the first of the year, you guys will be seeing me transform again, and that's the biggest part. That for me, it's to remain healthy, and then to get others to actually join in on the health kick. I would love my viewers, especially here in Albuquerque, to like get together and do some health stuff. I don't care what it is. Doreen, we keep saying we're going to get together. I don't know. We could take people on to the grocery stores and show them how to shop healthy and what are healthy choices and not healthy choices, and look at labels together, but do it together, because for me, it's always important to have those people with you always coming together. Okay. So you're going to see me starting to get more cut, right? You can barely see my little lines there, but I'll get more cuts. A little bit more toned is what I'm hoping for, or not hoping for. There's no hope in it. Trust me, it's hard work. I'm going to be working towards, I should say. So I have some goals. And I will tell you what my goals are for the first of the year. Also, I'm going to be speaking at an event on November 30th in Santa Fe. And I would love for you guys to show up. It's a minimal cost to go, and I think the cost is just covering the space, to be honest with you. We're really all just dedicating our time to give back. Um, and I'm going to be doing spiritual currency and teaching people how to manage overwhelm, which is a huge topic for most people, because most people get overwhelmed and they don't know how to handle the stress. And so that's something that I'm going to be supporting people in understanding and digging a little bit deeper into what that means for them. But there's a lot of different opportunities that are about to arise. And a lot of things that I'm working on with Spirit and Coffee. Again, I talked about the expansion. What does that look like? How do I support others? You guys know that I expanded Spirit and Coffee to Podbean. For those on Podbean, I actually do a live video on Facebook that I've been doing for quite some time. You're more than welcome to join there. I'm going to be transitioning Spirit and Coffee. Good morning, Adam. To the page of Spirit and Coffee, where people can follow me on there. That's going to happen at the first of the year, rather than my personal page. That way we can offer it to more people who want to join in. Hopefully get some mugs and t-shirts, and you guys can have your beautiful Spirit and Coffee mug while you listen to Spirit and Coffee, because I love coffee mugs. Like I have this one from Our Space, which is completely amazing. It's Our Space, and in Durango, when I used to work out there, I would do a shared working space at Our Space. It was pretty awesome. Okay, let's see. I'd love to, but I'm of 1.5 hours from Albuquerque. Maybe over my winter break, I can plan something. Yeah, whenever, Doreen. There's no rush on it. I like things to happen organically. I'm an organic person. Let life unravel, right? Again, what am I doing today, God? Those are my questions. Okay, what are we up to today? And by the way, God has 76 points on Podbean. I don't know what it means to get points, but I got points. And I don't know what that means exactly, but somebody gave me 76 points. And I'm assuming that means good job, which is kind of cool, I guess. Good morning, Leonard. And I say God has points because they're God points. um, so yeah, you could get points. I don't know, it's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know for those on Podbean, I guess you guys understand what that means. I don't. I'm so new to Podbean. I don't. I just kind of just did it. I'm gonna do this. Boom, done. So there you go. There's Podbean. Um, okay. So baby practices, understand how do you step into your divine birthright? There's a couple of things that need to happen. Devour the very foundation you've created if it's not serving you, if you're not happy, it's hard to do. Most people live in fear to do that. I actually am a prime example of someone who does it all the time, and you guys have seen me do it over and over again, and I'll continue to do it. And then you can see the miracles that actually come through. Okay. Can I read this now? No. Oh. My mom gave me a private note and I thought I was like gonna read it. I thought it was like, a note that you pass when you're a kid in grade school or something. So she gives me this little and then ask her if I could read it and she's like, no, it's for a secret Santa. Why don't you pass me love notes, Mom? I thought this was a love note. Like, you are amazing, daughter. Ooh, thank you. I'm gonna pretend that's what this says. Okay. This is a love note from my mother, and it says, you are an amazing daughter. Keep going. For sure. It doesn't say that at all. It has a name on it. Okay, funny. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have my mom, you want to be a special guest on Spirit and Coffee sometime? I mean, not today, because I already know you're thinking, I mean now. I don't mean right now. Yeah? Really? Whatever we want. My mom's going to be a special guest on Spirit and Coffee. Oh, and that's another thing. I'm going to be doing special guest. I didn't really know how I was going to do it, but you guys, please listen to the one special guest, special edition I did with Raven. She wrote a book called How to Create Sacred Water. I will show you guys the book next time on here. She signed a copy for me, but you guys can purchase a book. And a couple of people have started to kind of read it. And they're like, oh my God, I totally want to buy this book. So she is an amazing author. She's one of my spiritual supports. I go to her for, when things are super, super trying. I'll call her and be like, okay, I need someone to talk to because I trust that I can speak to her. Amazing woman. So I highly encourage that. I'm going to have my friend Lisa Galindo come on. She's a life coach. And her and I have been Yaya sisters for a very long time. And then I'm going to have a good day, Auntie Christine. And then I'm going to have my mother come on and also my niece. I call her Chucky. And she's 17 and quite an amazing soul. She has to, she's amazing if she could put up with me. Anybody who could put up with me for more than a week is quite amazing. You would only understand why I'm laughing if you're around me all the time because I'd probably drive you nuts. So I'll be having special guests, and I'd love for you guys to just show up for the special guests. I'll be promoting it on, Facebook and on Instagram. So you guys can see who's going to be on my Spirit and Coffee. We will be doing a live version as well as a Podbean live version. So you guys can show up to the Facebook Live, and those will be done on the Spirit and Coffee platform, just so you know. So you guys can go to that Spirit and Coffee platform. Okay, I want to say one last thing. Now, the four agreements, which I didn't read from today, and sometimes I don't read from the book because I, have life events that I can talk about, but a practical guide. Okay, I want you to hear that practical guide. Practical means that it can be used. In other words, we practice it, we use it, we utilize it for our daily life. It's not this woo woo, let me talk about roses and flowers and act like life is beautiful when it's a mess, right? Life is a mess. It's messy. It's not so beautiful. Sometimes it's beautiful, but mostly it's like a mess, right? So, a practical guide. So, what we talked about today, good morning, Ignacio, is that what do? We practice, 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 practice. Okay. So, whatever it is for you this Monday or this week, and Thanksgiving's coming up for those who are in the US, I would say practice something. Take something, a small step, right, towards your divine birthright, whatever that practice is for you. Maybe it's I don't know, drinking water in the morning, or maybe it's having gratitude in the morning, or maybe it's doing your own podcast, or maybe it's listening to somebody's podcast, or maybe it's reading, or maybe whatever it is. Take on something, a practice that's going to drive you a little bit closer to your divine birthright. Practice. That's what spiritual alchemy is. It's helping you go through the process of the alchemic process over and over and over again. Because that's what we do. We don't just stay still. If we stay still, we become sick and toxic. When we start to move, we allow the toxicity to move outside of us, and we allow ourselves to what? Magnify the goodness within us. Okay, so do that. Go and magnify on this magical Monday. Go and magnify the beauty within you, the greatness within you. Take on those practices, okay, and make it such a beautiful day. I'm so excited I get to start work. I can't wait to tell you guys what I'm going to be up to. It's going to be fun. Okay. Yes, it will. Yes, mama? Okay, wait. Yes, mama? Yes, mama? Aha, yes. Oh my God. See, there you go. That's what happens when you move in with your mama again. Whew, it's fun. Okay. So I love you guys. Have the most magical, magnificent Monday. And I will be seeing you guys tomorrow morning. And it's going to be early in the morning. Ah. I hope those of you on Podbean, I hope I didn't bust your eardrums. Okay. Love you guys. Mean it. Have a good day. Bye bye.